You usually take a firearm to survive in the wild, and he stuck to the primitive way of making fire. Just started showing the hand drill fire. It didn't take long to change tack and start a fire. It doesn't matter if it's improved or upgraded. Just some yellowfoot wash. Serve with snail sashimi. That's why you don't have a firearm. Another contestant challenged to survive on a desert island. Luke's on edge right now. Wilderness survival is all about watching videos. Never done it alone. I hope I can learn real skills on the internet. The only point of confidence is physical fitness. Try to get yourself in front of the camera. I'll be home for dinner after 21 days. Kind of looking forward to what the partner is going to be like. Issa has a lot more experience than Luke. He learned wilderness survival skills from his family as a child. And now you teach others how to survive. This challenge for her is to break through herself. Just naked in front of the camera for the first time. A little bit nervous and expectant. Hopefully, when the restraints are released. Partner, don't stare at yourself all the time. After all, I was very shy. Soon the two men headed to the meeting place. Now it feels like it's too hot. The soles of my feet smell like they're burning. Luke waited a moment. It's good to see your partner in the same outfit. It was pretty exciting the first time we met. Issa didn't expect someone else's brother to be so strong. I just keep staring down. Luke didn't realize girls were so direct. So boys must protect themselves outside. It's getting a little fuzzy right now. Why don't we just check the equipment? An axe and a pot. Wanted to finish the challenge here. I don't know if you think it's going to work. The show put them somewhere off the coast of Mexico. It's surrounded by sharp coral rocks. They had to walk 3 kilometers along the coast, then build shelter on the edge of the forest. There's not a lot of water around here, plus all kinds of animals living there. You have to look carefully to fetch water. The two talked as they walked. The two sides chatted reasonably well. In fact, they are not familiar with the environment here. Don't know how to adapt here quickly. The constant heat in the sun is really hard. I'm sure someone's going to ask why you're not in the shade. I can't help it. The show just wants to do it. Force them to walk on the shore. Isa was quite pleased with Luke. I'd love to touch him after the challenge. Turns out, if you're strong enough, it can really enhance the charm. Now the skin feels like it's cracking. I want to jump into the sea to cool off. Luke opens the map and sees where he's at. It shouldn't be too far from the water. After a brief discussion between the two, decided to build a simple shelter here. Essa already has a general idea. All we have to do is get this place ready. But Luke has his own ideas. He thinks he can make it bigger. Isa was getting more and more ridiculous from Luke. I had to call it off and collect the materials. Luke's on fire right now. Issa thought he was being a little whimsical. I was too embarrassed to say it. Can only help to make changes privately. While we're still strong, Luke's moving as much as he can. The shelter is bigger than you thought. I was busy until dark. Overall, it was pretty good. There are no problems so far. Essa hopes to get a good night's sleep tonight. Luke's got ants crawling up here. He didn't realize there were so many gadgets around here. I barely made it to dawn. Now it feels hot and tired. We need to find a way to rehydrate. The shelter feels like an oven. Essa doesn't want to keep drying like this. Head to the water source now, if they're not looking in the right direction. 2 days tops before you faint from dehydration. I'll have to be carried home by the show crew. It's cooler inside though, but there are thorns everywhere. It really annoys people to death. Luke's foot hurts if he's not careful. You know, in the wild, you're especially worried about wound infections. In severe cases, it could be life-threatening. Fortunately, the pool is not far ahead. It just looks so dirty. Even if it is filtered and boiled, it is afraid of problems. But now I'm really thirsty. Try it no matter how dangerous it is. Luke thought it would just boil a little longer. I don't think you'd have a bad stomach. Now that we have water, the question is what about fire? They had no firearms and resorted to traditional craftsmanship. Luke knows he works out when he's fast. Essa felt hot down there. Looks like there's going to be some ash coming out soon. Keep encouraging Luke to go faster. If there's no fire today, it's not just dehydration. The surrounding mosquitoes will also attack. Luke's hands are about to crack. Still no ashes at all. What else can we do? Can we just keep doing this? I knew it would be so hard to live here. I should have brought a firearm. They don't know how to make a fire. Okay. The show gave them a good rating. But I didn't expect a big problem the next day. How to hydrate is a big problem. Today is the 3rd day of the challenge. Now I'm tired, hungry, and thirsty. The only thing we need right now is a fire. Since the hand drill is no good, we have to bow drill. If this doesn't work out, they would have really lost it all. Luke did it all on his own. There's constant friction going on there. If I didn't know he was there lighting the fire. The photographer thought he was exercising. But what good is it to do so fast? The ashes still haven't come out. Luke had to go faster. I never feel that tired when I exercise. Finally got the ashes out of me. But only a little. There's no way to light it up. Essa now feels very lost. It's never been that hard to start a fire. It's probably the material. Luke tried as hard as he could. Too bad the bow drill didn't even get ashes. I'm getting thirstier now. If you can't start a fire and boil the water, then we have to find a way to filter it. It was a risky move. Oh man, I got all the foot wash. He's going to add sand and stones to it. Try to filter out as many impurities as possible. Coke is the most important thing. It can absorb toxic substances. At least it won't cause any serious problems. This is real stuff Luke learned online. Break up the charcoal as much as possible, then layer it with sand and rocks. In theory, it can block most germs. The rest depends on how effective the stomach is. It tastes good. It's not as bad as it could be. At least for now, you don't have to worry about fainting from dehydration. The filter needs to be protected better. The survival of this challenge depends on it. Food is the least of our worries on the shore. This side of the rock is teeming with crustaceans. A little more will fill you up. It's only 60 or 70 snails. This will be a real meal for them. Don't ask if it's delicious. It's great if it goes down. Day 6 of the challenge. It's time to explore more different areas. Better find something meaty. I didn't expect to find a clean pool. Neither of them thought about going straight into the water. This is how you survive in the wild. Can't wait to stay in the water. I thought they were going to be in the water. This crocodile just appeared right here. So scared they ran straight up there with no clothes on. You got to be careful where you go. The challenge continues on the 7th day. Luke thought we had to get the fire right. It's not to boil water. It's mostly raw snails that get a little sick. Try something hot on the hour. For this purpose, the bow drill will be improved and upgraded. More efficient and less effort. Essa was skeptical. It's not a very stable drill. It's been less than 5 minutes. A real man's time is a little short. It feels like the temperature has dropped a lot since nightfall. Mosquitoes have been scurrying all over the body. Essa couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. It was only on the 8th day. Luke took off the bottom of the glass bottle he had found. Hopefully with the help of the sun, we can make a fire. After reassembling and improving, the effect that is becoming very noticeable. Luke thinks he's a genius. Essa is still stringing her bow. She still thinks a friction fire would be more stable. I'm afraid it didn't work. There are other uses for this rope. It's not like Luke's been out in the sun. There's no way to light this up. He thought he was stupid enough. Let's just go back to the old-fashioned way. ISA's woven bowstring that's pretty strong. Luke is confident he can get the ashes out. And into the fast movement. This time the smoke was more pronounced. But there are no ashes to be seen. Luke says he watches videos every day. How can you not even start a fire? The mood that is becoming more and more irritable. Maybe the wood just wasn't good enough. They're not going to replace the planks. I wonder how long we can go without fire. It's bad enough without a fire. I didn't realize the bug kept coming. It made Luke's mouth smell sweet. Day 10 of the challenge. A storm is preparing to hit. I don't know if the shelter will hold. Essa sees this as an opportunity. We can get more containers for the water. At least you don't have to use a filter every time. There's nothing to do right now. Go back to the fire and see. I don't know if it's Luke. It's the bow drill again. It took a minute to say it was broken. Issa thinks it's the bottom. Just tweak it a little bit and see what happens. This friction is going to be a lot smoother. The smoke is getting more and more. 10 days, and it's finally ashes. Put this in a tinder and burn it. With the constant efforts of the two. Finally, the flame was successfully lit. Now I can start hunting in peace. Everyone thought they'd get a good night's rest. But the truth is that fires don't repel mosquitoes. And he keeps flying in to help himself. Luke thinks the fire is a lie. Issa knows it works. It just doesn't work that well. Luke couldn't take it anymore. It's a constant breath of fragrance on camera. It's the only way to get it off your chest. I'm worried he's going to keep doing this. He smashed the camera in a fit of rage. The challenge continues on day 11. Luke tries to set a trap and eat an iguana. It seems a little simple. As long as he wants to eat the coconut. I can get into the news from there. This trap has been spotted on all sorts of videos. He felt sure he could catch it in theory. It's just a matter of time. ISA made a basket to catch fish. Just find a place to put it down. I hope we can get something to eat. The challenge continues on day 13. Luke spotted an iguana near the coconut meat. Take a closer look from the shelter. As soon as it burrowed in, he went to the rescue. Sure enough, the coconut is delicious. The iguana doesn't know if it's spotting a trap. Just sitting there motionless. Luke was in such a hurry. Just want to shove his head in there. What you didn't expect was the iguana to take a detour. Just enough to avoid the noose to eat the coconut. Luke says he's got his knife ready. Is that what he shows himself? The next few days, they're not checking for traps. Is to lay new traps, as long as the materials are sufficient. Luke's gonna keep it up. It's a good thing there's more coconut to bait. I don't know which iguana came by in exchange for meat. Day 16 of the challenge. There's no harvest on this side of the fish basket. They don't have the stamina to hunt anymore. I just feel a little better when I lie down. The challenge continues on the 17th day. The trap was destroyed by an animal at night. They're running out of energy. All I can think about is how to get food. When other people come to challenge, it's all good food and drink. How can it be their turn to be like this? People are not in a good mood. Luke felt it was useless to watch so many videos. When it's your turn to survive in the wild, he kind of wants to go home now. Issa doesn't know how to feel good about Luke, does she? She didn't expect her partner to fall apart like this. I can only help and encourage Luke to get out of trouble. I don't want him to stay negative. Luke went back to the shelter to get some rest. He was prepared mentally before he came. It was harder than I thought. The mood is so low. The challenge has come to day 19. Issa was worried about his partner. There are only 2 days left. She was going to weave the plants together as a torch. We can catch some rock crabs at night. No matter where you are, night is especially dangerous, right? And the rocks are particularly rough and sharp. You could fall into the water if you're not careful. Issa feels this is her last chance. I was ready until dark. Now you can light a torch and go over there. Even with torches in hand, visibility is not very good. Can only see the road before moving forward. Luckily, they did find the little crab. Now how do we get this back? It was washed out before we could even discuss it. The worst part was that the torches were put out, only by the light of the camera to try to catch. Crabs are more flexible than you think. Issa didn't give up chasing after him. I didn't expect to catch it in such a hostile environment. They were so happy. Take it home and cook it while you can. There's not a lot of meat in there, but as long as you can eat meat that is very happy, should be able to survive until evacuation day. Finally came to the last day, unconsciously. Put everything you can eat in your mouth. Try to push yourself as much as possible to complete the challenge. 6 miles off the coast from the extraction point. There will be difficulties along the way. The show only gave them 8 hours. They need to hurry up and get there. There are more thorns in the jungle. I should have made a pair of shoes to protect myself. They are much weaker than when they arrived. It's really all about willpower. Took a long drive through the jungle. Finally, on the other side of the coast. They didn't see anyone from the show. I wonder if this isn't the extraction point. Looks like a mistake in the jungle. Now we can only walk along the coast. I don't know how long I've been walking, but I finally got to see that rock. The show cars are already asleep waiting here. At last they were able to relax. It's not easy. 21 days, and you haven't eaten much. You have to have a good meal when you get home. I don't know who else will challenge me. Don't come back until you're full. Let's look forward to the next time we starve.